Welcome to the Mutiny Report. I'm Fletcher Christian. This is what it feels like to be alive right now. Let's roll. There's a moment when leadership stops looking like leadership and starts looking like performance art. No strategy, no discipline, no responsibility, just performance. And right now, from law enforcement to the Pentagon to diplomacy, we're watching people in power act like the cameras matter more than the consequences. Let's talk about it. Kash Patel, FBI Director or locker room mascot? While the country is dealing with real threats, real investigations, and real human tragedy, the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, was in Italy in a locker room chugging beer like he'd just won a fantasy league. After Team USA won Olympic gold, Patel was filmed chanting, spraying alcohol, wearing medals, shotgunning beers. Not behind closed doors, not quietly, on camera for the world to see. And this wasn't happening in a vacuum. This was happening while a man breached security at Mar-a-Lago with a weapon and was killed by federal agents. Major investigations were active. A missing person case involving Nancy Guthrie remains unsolved, and cartel-related threats were still on the table. Mexico's in fucking disarray. And the head of the FBI is playing frat boy abroad. Now, Patel says he was there on official business, meeting, security coordination, Olympic protection. What the fuck can this guy protect anyway? He's the biggest fucking douche I've ever seen in my life. I mean, fine, okay. But leadership is about judgment. And the judgment to turn that trip into a viral beer-soaked celebration? That's not professionalism. Again, it's branding. I don't know what kind of fucking branding it is, but it's not good. Even lawmakers and media personalities, including hosts on The View, called it inappropriate. If they're calling you inappropriate on The View, well, you know, I guess they do that a lot, but this is inappropriate. And here's what makes it worse. This is the same guy who criticized past FBI leadership for wasting resources. Now he's defending himself over what looks like a taxpayer-adjacent party tour. That's not accountability. It's hypocrisy with better lighting. Now let's move on to our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. Bench pressing while the world burns. Man currently overseeing America's military posture, Pete Hegseth, decided recently that what the country really needed to see was his bench press. A widely shared video shows Hegseth attempting to lift 315 pounds while service members cheer him on. Look, lifting weights isn't a crime. I lift 3-4 times a week. But context matters. And the context here is this. The United States is deploying one of the largest naval and air forces since Iraq to the Middle East. We're on the edge of regional escalation. I guess the Board of Peace isn't doing their job. Troops are rotating into high-risk zones. Families are saying goodbye. And the Secretary of Defense is doing gym content? Flexing, performing, posting? Like, I have lifted heavy. I know what it takes. I put up 320 in Afghanistan, and it damn near broke me. And this is when I was like working out every day. I was like, I think I weighed 230 pounds. I mean, I was huge. If you need to go look at proof, go to my Facebook and see the pictures. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. That isn't something you casually do for clicks, and I'm not sure he actually did it, but whatever. And when you're in charge of sending people into danger, your focus shouldn't be on proving you're jacked. It should be on keeping them alive. Instead, we get macho branding and fat-shaming rhetoric while real planning and transparency gets sidelined. That's not command presence. That's an influencer in a war room. It's fucking disgusting. This is what happens when you get a Fox News host to run your department. Whatever. I don't know. It's like, why did they change it to Department of War? If you're going to start a Board of Peace, Trump, why do you rename the Secretary of Defense to the Secretary of War? That doesn't seem very peaceful. Now let's talk about the most dangerous piece of this fucking puzzle. Diplomacy. Because words from ambassadors don't just travel, they detonate. Recently, Mike Huckabee and I shared a bunch about this in my last video. In a high-profile interview with Tucker Carlson, claimed that the Israeli Defense Forces are more humane in urban warfare than the U.S. military. Fuck you, Mike Huckabee. Fuck you. Let that sink in. A sitting U.S. ambassador said that another country's military shows more restraint than the Americans. Listen, I was in the war, okay? I deployed to Afghanistan in 2012 and 2013. I will tell you right now, that is not fucking true. He is full of shit, and we all know it. He's saying that they have more humanity, more discipline, and more care for civilians. Why don't you just look at a Israeli IDF TikTok where they're just, they just go off about blowing shit up. They have more care for civilians than us. I'm sorry. And as someone who's served in Afghanistan, it's really fucking offensive. Like, really offensive. Not politically, fucking personally. We were trained to avoid civilian casualties. We rerouted missions, aborted strikes, risked ourselves because non-combatants mattered to us. When I was there, we were in the Hearts and Minds campaign, right? It kind of pissed us off because the ROE was really bad, ROE's rules of engagement, but we did not fucking do it. And if you did, you got fucked up by a court-martial. To hear a U.S. ambassador casually minimize that legacy while Gaza is experiencing mass civilian death is propaganda disguised as some fucking kind of diplomacy. It's bullshit. Multiple international organizations have accused and documented civilian casualties in Gaza, hospitals, refugee camps, fucking children. And Huckabee stands there and says essentially they're doing it better than we ever did. That's not analysis. It's narrative laundering. And it forced the State Department into damage control mode, claiming his remarks were taken out of context. Bull fucking shit, that's what he fucking said. Watch the interview. It should be Mike Huckabee, because he's an Israeli cuck, I swear to God. His words were not taken out of context. They were heard very clearly, and they told the world exactly whose suffering counts and whose doesn't. The pattern equals leadership as performance. So let's line this up. The FBI Director is partying abroad during crises. The Defense Secretary is posting workout clips during mobilization. The Ambassador is rewriting war narratives while civilians die. Different offices, same disease. Performance over purpose. Image over integrity. Clicks over competence. This is reality TV governance. I mean, I guess that's what we get when our president used to have one of the greatest, one of the greatest reality shows ever. Yeah, well, this reality show is turning into a giant shit show. It's a system where looking powerful matters more than being responsible, where optics beat outcomes, where the camera is the real boss. And the people paying the price? Agents in the field, soldiers overseas, civilians in war zones, families waiting at home. They don't get highlight reels. They get consequences. They get body bags. The bottom line, leadership isn't about how you look when things are going well. It's about how you behave when the fucking room is on fire, when the mortars are coming in, when the shots are being fired. Right now, too many people in charge are treating power like it's branding. And that's how empires rot. And I've said this over and over and over again. Not with explosions, with fucking selfies, with slogans, with celebrations in the middle of crises, with propaganda in place of truth. We deserve better. And until we get it, I'm going to keep calling it out. Stay loud, stay human. For fuck's sake, stay mutinous. Mutiny out.